So you don't have any air conditioning and you walk outside and you see ice all over your air conditioner, you've got a freezing up problem. Stay tuned and we'll talk about that a few minutes and tell you what to do. So many times when you don't have air conditioning, you'll go outside, you'll see ice on your outdoor unit and you think you've found the problem. You'll turn it off, some of the ice will melt, and you'll try to turn it back on. You think you've fixed the problem. Well, the real problem starts inside on your indoor coil. This coil will be a solid block of ice, and this area that you see here will be completely encrusted ice with oftentimes an iceberg, sometimes 2 or 3 feet high. That ice takes hours to melt, and until that ice is melted, you can't get any air through the cooling coil. So the big mistake when you have a frozen unit is you turn it off, you turn it back on in an hour, and it just starts icing up again. What you have to do when an air conditioner ices up is it has to thaw generally overnight, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours, because the volume of ice is such that it will just take a long time to thaw. You have to be very careful too during this thawing process because that ice will melt into water, come down, cascade down on the furnace, many times burning out components in the furnace. Now, an air conditioner should never ice. If you ever see any ice on the outdoor unit or on the big line, there's a malfunction, there's a problem. Many times people will let it thaw, they'll turn it back on, they'll get cooling for a short time and they think the problem's fixed itself. They'll actually call our company, set up a service appointment, the ice will thaw, they'll cancel that appointment, and then the next day they're back on the line frantically. An air conditioner should never have ice on the line, the big line, or any of the lines or any of the tubes. If you ever see ice, you have to call for help. There's a couple reasons why an air conditioner can ice. One of the most common ones is a dirty furnace filter. If you don't have enough air across this coil, it will start to ice. But the most common problem we see is a lack of Freon. And when the Freon drops in a unit, the surface coil temperature drops so cool that the water that's being removed from the air freezes this surface. When this surface gets blocked with ice, then that ice starts building up, building up. It works very much like the ice maker in your refrigerator. So icing is always a problem that if you don't have a dirty filter, that you need to call your heating and air contractor and tell them what the problem is and turn the unit off. One of the biggest issues that we have with frozen units is people call for help and they think if they leave the air conditioner running, they're going to have cooling while they're waiting for us to get there. That's not true. If you can't get air across the cooling coil, you're not going to have any cooling. As a matter of fact, it can burn up your air conditioner to leave it running with ice on it. So you need to call your contractor, and regardless of how uncomfortable you are, turn it off. And you need to wait at least 4 or 5 hours to have them come out. Because if they get there and there's any ice left on this coil, there's not a thing they can do. Technician's going to usually charge you a service call, turn around and leave and tell you he'll be back the next day. Many, many times people say they turn it off and they don't, and they're very unhappy because remember, until that ice is all gone, you've got a problem. If you like our videos, please leave a comment below. And for a new home care video every week, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like us and share this video with your friends. And as always, if you need a professional, visit our website or call us at Reliable Heating and Air.